Hey fam, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited because I'm going to be trying a ton of new Too Faced cosmetics. As you can see behind me, I bought a ton of the new Too Faced Cosmetics Peach collection and I'm really excited to share that with you guys today. I'm going to be trying it on my face for the first time. So yeah, welcome back to another first impressions video. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to tell you guys what I purchased first. So I purchased the Peach Blur Translucent Smoothing Finishing Powder, which I was really excited to try. They said this was unlike any other translucent powder and I was like, that's interesting because it's peachy. They said it'll smooth your skin, it'll make it look really nice, glowy, but naturally, so I'm excited to try this. The next thing and the main thing I was excited for is the Too Faced Velvet Matte Eyeshadow Palette. It's infused with peach and sweet fig cream, so it smells amazing, you guys, when you open this. It smells so good. I love it. I love it so much. And I think the packaging is really cute. It looks super fancy, it's super pretty, super glamorous. You get a nice size mirror there. And then these here are the shadows, which they're not necessarily anything new or unique or special. I do wish there was something different about this palette. It does just kind of look like any other warm, neutrally type of palette that I have. It smells good, but I don't think the shadows are necessarily unique in any way. Next, I did pick up the foundation. This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. I got mine in the shade Warm Nude, which I believe is what I use in the, yes, I use Warm Nude in the Born This Way foundation, so I just went with that. Again, I've not tried this yet, but just as far as packaging goes, I really do like that it's in a squeezy tube form. I think that's pretty cool. The next thing that I got is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Mattifying Loose Setting Powder. And again, it's infused with that peach and the sweet fig cream. I think the packaging, again, is just so beautiful. I'm a sucker for packaging, and this is just so glamorous. And it does have that fancy flap that they've been putting on their powders recently that lifts up, if I can get it. So that kind of holds your powder in from, you know, getting all over the place, which is a nice touch, I think. And then lastly, I bought 3 of these little cheeky thingies. So the first one here, this is called Happy Face. It's a melting powder highlighter, which looks like this. So I guess it's a cream to powder type of situation. Looks pretty. I do have to say, oh, it smells so good. And I love the packaging. Again, everything here is just so adorable, but yet still glamorous, which I really liked. It wasn't too kitschy in my opinion. It's cute. Then I also got the Toasted Peach Bronzed Peach one as well, so you can use this as bronzer or whatever. And then lastly, I got the Peach My Cheeks in the shade Peach Dream, which is very pretty again. So I love that shine, by the way. The reflection on it is pretty. Anyway, so I'm super jazzed to try this stuff out, you guys. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna prime my lids as always. I use the Benefit Stay Don't Stray Shadow Primer. So let's start with the Just Peachy Matte Shadow Palette. What type of look will we do? I don't know. Let's see. First, I'm going to jump into this creamy shade. This is Peach Meringue, I think it's pronounced, with my Sigma Beauty E50 Large Fluff Brush. And I just want to top this on my lid before we start blending our other shades, just to create a nice little base. Oh, it smells delightful. Like really, you guys have to smell this. Next, I'm going to go into the shade Peach Punch with my E40 brush from Sigma. And I'm going to work this into the crease as our transition shade, as you do. And so far so good. That has a really nice amount of pigment. I really like, it's almost like a neon type of coral, which I think is very pretty. Just building that shadow to the amount of intensity that I want it. I do want it popping out quite a bit, so I'm really packing it on there. I love this color. I think that is so beautiful. Next, moving on, I think I want to jump into the shade Just Ripe, this one on the end here, with my Sigma E25 blending brush. And I want to start working this through the crease, transitioning into that other shade we just laid down. So building this up here, and then I blend upwards. Not too far though, I don't want to take it too far. From here, I think I want to do like a dark, like a gradient effect eye. So I'm going to go into Chocolate Dipped. I'm using the same E25 brush. And I'm going to pack this on my very lid, fading up into our crease and all the shades we just laid down. This is actually like a really fast smoky eye, which I love. Like if you don't have a lot of time, just go darker to lighter, you know what I mean? A dark shade all over the lid and just blend it out and you got the smoky of the smoky. Next, for dramatic effect, I want to tightline my eyes. This is the I'm Eyeliner by iMovie brand. I believe it's a Korean brand. And I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I read. So I'm going to tightline my upper lash line with this, as well as my waterline, which again, I know you're not supposed to tug on your waterline, but I kind of always do it just a hair. I'm not like tearing at it, just like gently tugging. And then I'm going to smudge that in with my fingers down there. And I kind of do want this like a little more smoky, so I'm not minding if it goes far off of my waterline and down onto my lash line. This is kind of taking me back to like old like Mila Kunis makeup tutorials. I used to love recreating her makeup looks. They were just, I love her makeup looks always. She has my favorite makeup. Taking a little bit more of that chocolate dip shade, still just using my little E25 blender brush. I'm going to blur that on top of our eyeliner to lock that in and add a bit of intensity. I'm going to use the Lancome Hypnose Drama Mascara, which has been a favorite of mine for years. Literally for years. It's just amazing. It makes my lashes so long and thick and without using too much formula also is what I love. It's like a quick, nice, thick lash. Now let's move on to the rest of the face. I'm going to first prime with the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer. I just feel like, hey, we're doing a Too Faced video, so let me just stick with the theme and see how their products work together. Am I almost out of this? Good Lord. Oh, no, I'm not. Finally, the moment I've been waiting for. This is one of the most exciting things to me, what I really wanted to try. I love a new foundation. This is, again, the Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation in the shade Warm Nude. So let's give her a go. Oh shit, this looks too dark. God damn it, SHAE. This must be my self-tanning color and I didn't freaking realize it. Oh, well, we're just gonna make do. Again, it smells lovely. I don't always love fragrances in my foundations though. And again, I don't know if it's maybe like a natural smell from like good ingredients in there, like the fig cream and all that, or if it's like a perfume. Ooh, great coverage right off the bat. That is really nice. I hardly had to use any there. I really love this shadow look. There are a few areas though that were a little tricky to blend, which I'm still kind of trying to wrap my mind around. Right on this eye, I had some difficulty, but I don't know if it's because my skin's a little dry right now and the shadow was just kind of grabbing it. You know what I mean? So far, just upon application, I really am enjoying this foundation. Of course, I don't know how it's going to wear. I'm going to have to update you guys on that. But at this point in time, I like how it looks. It's also, this is going to sound funny, but it's applying to my nose nicely, where a lot of times foundation just like doesn't want to grab to my nose, but it seems to be going on like straight away. I really love this coverage. I love the finish. They say it's supposed to be, what is it, a matte or a soft matte? It's a comfort matte, so maybe that's why it's still a little glowy. Like, in my opinion, it's super glowy, so I don't know. For concealer, I'm going to take my Too Faced Born This Way in the shade Fair and just pop this underneath my eyes. And I'm also going to use it to kind of clean up the sides of my look. And down the nose. After that, I want to set it with this translucent powder. Again, this is the Peach Perfect translucent powder. So I'm excited to see how this differentiates between the ethereal Born This Way powder. I don't know how much different it could even be, right? I'm also nervous it'll like turn my under eye area peachy, so I hope that doesn't happen. I'm going to take that with my 3D HD blending sponge by Sigma that I've been using and pop this alongside the nose and then under the eye, most specifically. Again, smells delightful. And through the forehead. So while this is doing a bit of baking, I want to jump into our bronzer. And I'm a little nervous and excited for this. Again, this is the Toasted Peach Bronzer by Too Faced Cosmetics. It is a cream to powder, I believe. And again, adorable packaging. I do love that. I always get nervous with cream, and I'm a little nervous with this because it looks like it could have some shimmer in it. I don't know for sure. We're about to find out. But if there's shimmer in it, I probably won't use it that much. So, oh, feels very soft. It almost right when it touches my skin, I feel the powder texture of it. So I'm going to start on my forehead. I'm going to blend that in with my curved Kabuki FA3 brush from Sigma. And I'm going to just work that back into my hairline. It's subtle, it's pretty, and it's subtle, which is nice, especially if you tend to get a little carried away with bronzer. I guess that's nice. And it doesn't leave much room for messing up because it doesn't really put on a whole lot. With this same F83 brush, I'm gonna again get some on the tip here, and I'm gonna pop this in my contour and just blend that through. And then again, blend, blend, blend. I feel like I'm just not a fan of cream bronzer in any type of way. It just kind of streaked on me. I don't know if it's because I had some setting powder on first. I don't know what the deal is, but I only put the setting powder under my eye, so I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and dust the setting powder away because I don't want to bake too long because I don't know how this powder performs. Smells lovely though. Again, it's like the most I have to say about this. I do think that powder did a great job of like brightening my under eyes. It set everything really nicely. I'm curious to see if there is a flashback. So I'm going to take a picture with my phone with flash and see if it does flashback onto our face. So let me turn my flash on. I don't notice a flashback in the photo, but it does look super bright under there. So that's interesting. Let's now try out the blush. Again, this is in the shade Peach Dream. It's a pretty peachy coral. It's a little light for my skin tone, I think. Yeah, I wish I would have just got like a bit of a deeper shade. I don't love this at all. It's just kind of like a clownish pink to me. I don't know. I'm not a fan. But again, I'm not a fan really of cream products, so it might just be me. I'm not 100% chalking it up to this. And if you're really fair, I think you'd love this cheek color. It's a good cheek color for fair. Oh God, it looks like it's like darkening up on the edge of my powder. Well, I don't know. But it has a nice glow. That's a pretty sheen, isn't it? And then let's try the Happy Face Peach Toast highlighter. Looks like this. I'm gonna pop that right up here. That is pretty. It's more natural, definitely. It's not a real intense highlighter, which can be nice. It could be a good daytime highlighter. Let's do some on the tip of the nose, as I love to do. And then also a little bit farther up, right down the center. Oh, it's kind of balling up. Oh my gosh, it's really like affecting that translucent powder I laid down. Darn it. Oh my gosh, it's getting so gross. I hope you'll be able to see that texture it kind of left on my nose. Of course, that's where I set the translucent powder down already, but like that's like what I do. Oh, that was tricky. I mean, of course, you're not supposed to put cream and liquids on top of powder, or this is exactly what happens. I was just hoping since it was kind of a cream to powder formula, it would kind of mix well, but it really didn't, but that's okay. Lastly, I'm gonna take the Peach Blur translucent powder on the whole face to set it all in. I'm gonna take my tapered face F25 brush from Sigma. I'm excited to see if this turns my face like peachy, or is it just gonna be a nice blurring powder? I don't really know. I do think it really did actually kind of blur this side of my face. It even made the highlighter and blush kind of look a little better. I feel like you kind of really have to like dig at it though to get any to come up. And of course, you're probably not supposed to use too much, so that's probably why it's like that. I actually really like this powder. This, though it's a little bit tricky to get it to come up out of the pan, I like the effect it's having on my skin. I do notice a little bit of blurring, and my highlighters are still kind of staying glowy, which is nice. A lot of times when you put translucent powder on top of the highlighter, it kind of goes away, but this is kind of keeping it there. Finish it off, I'm gonna set it all with my Hangover RX spray from Too Faced. Oh, this awful pencil sharpener is just eating my pencil. I'm pissed. This is the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Oversized. And then lastly, on top of this lip liner, I'm going to take the Too Faced Melted Latex in the shade Hopeless Romantic, which is totally me. And that is it for my look today, you guys. Now let's talk about the products themselves individually really quickly, and if I think that you need them or not. So let's start with the shadow palette first and foremost. I do love this makeup, don't get me wrong. It's very pretty, and I didn't have too much difficulty blending it. There were just a few patches that kind of grabbed to my lid, but again, I think it might be because my skin's a little drier right now. The palette is gorgeous. It's a beautiful palette, and I mean like design and packaging, and the shades are very pretty. However, I'll just say I don't think it's anything unique. It's not necessarily anything super new, hasn't been done before, which is okay. It's always fine to have, like, you know, a basic, I don't mean basic in a bad way, but it's not bad when brands come out with basic palettes that have kind of already been done before, because some people might really love and favor Too Faced and want a palette like this from Too Faced. But I do think we've kind of seen palettes like this, obviously, from Too Faced before. They had the original peach palette, and they used to have the little small smoky palettes. So we have seen things like this from Too Faced before, which is fine, but would I purchase it again? No. Do I regret purchasing it? A little bit, only because it's just nothing new. It's nothing that I don't have already, and I don't know how often I will reach for this palette. To be honest, the main reason I will ever reach for this palette will probably be for this shade that I did use in my crease. I love that color. I love how it looks on the eyes. I love it blended with this dark smoky eye. So I will probably do this look anytime I grab this palette. I think that's just what I'd straight go to, because I really like makeup like this. But again, I do love the packaging. It smells so beautiful. It's adorable. But would I purchase it again? No. If it breaks or if I lose it, will I go out and buy another one? No. And I'm not going to return it. I like to keep my palettes on hand for future Throwback Thursdays, but it's not necessary in my opinion. There are other items in this collection that I think are just better or more unique, more different, more special. One thing I was super impressed by, and I'm so happy I purchased, I could probably see myself purchasing it again, is this Peach Perfect translucent powder. Again, it's a mattifying setting powder infused with peach and sweet fig cream. It smells lovely. It's a beautiful package design. I do love that they have that flap over top of the powder so that when you're traveling or just when you're using it, you're able to close it up and kind of keep your product together. Because that's my one complaint with the Laura Mercier. Anytime I open it, it goes everywhere, and then you close it, it goes everywhere. Like, there's really not much keeping it in there. So it's nice that this does it. I love that I was able to bake with it just fine. I used a damp sponge, and it didn't, like, some mattifying powders, if you try to bake with them, they kind of ball up once they hit any type of moisture. That didn't happen with this, which I really love. And I do really like that it's more of a peachy pinky setting powder as opposed to yellow or just plain translucent, because it really had brightening properties on my skin anyway. I don't necessarily know if the same thing would happen for someone with more pigmentation in their skin, for women and men of color. I'm not quite sure what the effect would be, so that might be an experiment I actually try on Alok, which sounds kind of silly, but a lot of times I try makeup on him just to kind of, because he's darker than me, just to see what happens. But I liked it. Overall, I really liked it on me. I'm really happy I purchased it, and I think it just did a beautiful job. Like, my under eye area feels so soft and smooth and just silky, and it didn't cake up. My lines don't look overly accentuated, and I left it on for a fair amount of time, so I really like how it performed. Not to mention, when I took my photo with flash on my phone, it did not give me any flashbacks, so that is like, yes, totally golden, love that. So very happy with that powder. Along with the peach blurring powder, again, I think it made my face look gorgeous. First of all, when I applied those creams, I wasn't loving them, but I don't love cream on me. That's totally a personal issue. The colors themselves are fine and gorgeous, and it feels so nice and soft, but when it went on my face, I just felt like it was grabbing areas funny, and it just didn't look too smooth. Again, I have a lot of texture in my skin, so that could be a personal problem, but it didn't look super smooth. When I put this on top of it, it has like smoothed everything over. I love that my glow still stayed there. Like, I didn't lose any glow. I feel like this only enhanced it. And it set the rest of my face so well. I don't feel any oil or any cakiness. I do notice a little creasing in like my laugh and smile lines, so I don't know if this was necessarily enough to set those areas. I'd probably have to use more of this translucent powder to really set that in. But just for an all-over dusting, this was great. It kept it lightweight, and it looks youthful. I don't see the peachiness of it. I don't see even a glow from it, but I know that it enhanced my skin. I can kind of tell from before and after. I just noticed a difference with it. So I'm excited to keep playing with this. I really hope that after a few uses, it's going to be a little easier to kind of grab onto my brush, because I just felt, and maybe it's just thin, so it's not supposed to, but I felt like I had to kind of dig to get it to come up a little bit more. So this setting powder and the translucent mattifying powder, so far I think are my absolute favorite things from this collection that I own. And I do recommend you guys check these out because I do think there's something new and unique about them. Lastly, let's talk about these little babies. Again, from a packaging standpoint, they are so freaking beautiful and adorable. I love that they're cutesy, but they still look fancy. They still look kind of high-end. Packaging's just gorgeous on them. I love this one. Like, I just have nothing to say about the packaging. This Peach Dream, which was what I used for blush, let me open it up again. I do want to say I love that they have mirrors in there. That's so cute. If you're traveling or if you want to throw it in your bag, you can do that very easily, and it's cute. And you get a nice amount of product. As you can see, it does dome upwards. This, I feel, I didn't really love the glowiness of it. Some people like glowiness in their blush, but then I kind of feel like it takes away from my highlighter. To me, it just kind of looks like, damn, she's got highlighter all over her freaking cheeks. When really, I just like my highlighter kind of concentrated up here. It looks nice. It did give my cheeks a pretty glow, but I kind of lost the color. The color's kind of gone, so I would have loved to have tried a deeper shade of this. I think there are other shades. I think I'm going to Sephora this weekend, so I might play around and see if there's a shade I like better that maybe doesn't have the shimmer in it. But again, if you're more fair, that might be really nice for you. Also, if you don't like applying highlighter, it's kind of a 2-in-1. So I can see how many people would love this and many people maybe wouldn't be a fan of it. It depends on what you prefer with your makeup. But if you're in the go, if you're in a pinch, if you're like a grab and go type of girl, I think you might really like this. Again, the color just wasn't for me, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to try another shade because I do want to learn to like it. The bronzer. The bronzer didn't do much. It did a little bit, but not a whole lot. Personally, I would probably stick to just using my powdered bronzers and contours because I don't tend to love shimmer in my bronzer. This does have a little shimmer in it, and I don't really like cream on my skin. These are all personal like SHAE issues. This has nothing to do with the Too Faced product. If you like a little shimmer, if you like cream, I think you'd really like this because it's super soft and creamy, but it does like instantly, like the instant I rub my fingers together, it feels like a straight powder. I did have difficulty blending it in certain areas, and I don't know if that's because I had some translucent powder under my eyes. I don't think that should make a difference because it really wasn't blending down here, and I didn't have any on there. I had to go back over it with a sponge to really kind of loosen it up. To me, that might mean that it's drying a little too fast. It's like going from cream to powder just a little too quickly, and I can't get in there and manipulate it that much. So again, I'd probably skip on this for me. I won't purchase it again. I'm not going to return it because I'm going to try and use it. I think mostly I'd love this on the forehead or maybe in place of blush. I'm not going to go and contour my whole face with this again because I didn't like it, but I could see me just using it strictly as a forehead bronzer because you guys know I love my forehead bronzer. It like changes my life. It like, oh, love it. This will probably remain for my forehead only. This next one, the Too Faced Peach Frost in the shade Happy Face, was probably my most favorite out of the 3 cream to powder products. It's very subtle. The only thing I didn't love is how it bunched up the powder on my nose, but that's kind of to be expected sometimes with cream products. Not all of them, because I have other cream highlighters that really don't do that, but it did. It had a major effect on it. If you're gonna check this out, I would of course recommend not to lay your powder down first, but I had to bake under my eye or I get creasy. So I like it on my cheeks. It is pretty. And again, I think this blurring powder really like smoothed it out. It really enhanced it. It smoothed it out. It's pretty. It's not anything new or spectacular, but it's pretty, and I will continue to use this. I don't see myself repurchasing this. I also don't see me like ever using it all, but I will enjoy it for the time being. I will use it, but probably won't repurchase this. Lastly, let's go over the foundation, you guys. I really, really like this foundation. Again, I have not done a wear test and I did only just apply it, so I can't tell you how long it stays on for. But I like the idea of this comfort matte foundation because even when I put it on, it wasn't super duper matte. It had a little bit of a glow, but it wasn't too glowy. It wasn't too shiny. It really just looks like healthy skin, which, hey, who doesn't want like the healthy skin look? Obviously, we all want that. I think it covered really, really well. It wasn't the fullest coverage I've ever used, but it got the job done. It really covered my breakouts, and I think it just looks healthy. What I love most about it is how lightweight it feels. It doesn't feel heavy or cakey at all. It didn't even sink into my forehead lines, which you guys know I get like crazy, especially if I use a heavier foundation. So I will see myself using this probably every day for a very long time. I hope my skin does not react to the scent in it. My skin is sensitive to fragrance, so fingers crossed that doesn't happen. I'm hoping it is the infused with peach and sweet fig cream that are giving it that scent. I love that it's oil-free. It says there's a 14-hour wear. It's oil controlling and it's photo friendly. And again, I do think it is photo friendly because when I just took that picture, my skin looked flawless in the photo. I'm gonna wear it over the next few days and give you guys an update for sure on how it's doing. But so far, so good. Again, I love the feeling of it. It's so comfortable. Just like they say, it's very comfortable and it didn't settle into my forehead lines, just right on my laugh lines, but those are pretty deep because I'm a funny bitch. No, I'm kidding. I like it. I really, really like it. So my hero products from this were definitely the foundation, the translucent powder, as well as the peach blur. These are what I think you should definitely look into. I think the shadow palette it's pretty, but it's okay. It's nothing new. It's nothing we haven't seen before. And I do believe it's a higher price point, so I don't think I would recommend you guys to get that unless you really wanted it. Of course, it's your choice. So anyways, you guys, that is it for my video. I thank you all for watching today. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this collection below. I genuinely want to know if you guys are going to pick up anything, how you felt about the shadow palette. Have you tried the foundation? Like, all this stuff is already out. I purchased it myself from Sephora, so you guys can go and check it out too now if you want to. I'll link it down below. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye!